Hello YouTube, Marauders here, and today I have the MadCatz Strike M Bluetooth keyboard. Now this is one of the very interesting Bluetooth keyboards that I have, because this is what I would like to call the smallest all-in-one typeable keyboard that I've ever seen so far. Now why do I say that this is a typeable keyboard? Now you see, normally if we have a Bluetooth keyboard, all-in-one keyboard, that means basically it has keys as well as a mouse area. It's going to be people usually make it very small, so this is for thumb typing. This isn't good for actual typing, you can't actually type on it. But the MadCatz itself, these are keys that are meant for typing, so I would say it's an actual typeable keyboard. And that even though you can see other keyboards that are probably bigger, they are probably smaller than the Strike M, the cool thing about this is that this is an all-in-one keyboard. So that means not only does it have keys, there's a little nub here. This is an IR mouse. So basically what it does is that you control the mouse with this small little thing here. So you just slide your finger around and you move the mouse around. So it's what we call an optical mouse. Technology wise is basically, imagine that this is a sensor of your mouse, of your wireless mouse, ballless mouse, looking up towards it, and it's just detecting your hand movements. So it's pretty nifty. They managed to get all-in-one keyboard package into such a small body, basically by making sure that the mouse is this small little thing here. Now usage wise, well, I say it's typeable, but as you can see, it's pretty small. It's extremely small. It will all depend on how big your hands are. For me, I am just barely able, my fingertips are just barely as big as a key. So yeah, saying typeable is a bit of a stretch for most people, I guess. To me, my hands are just almost the right size to not feel too cramped about this. Now the difference between this and other Bluetooth keyboards of the like is, of course, that there are some very interesting features of this thing. First of all is, of course, the small integrated mouse here. Now you have the left mouse button, you have the right mouse button, and this is a mouse. And the thing about it is the mouse, the sensor is actually clickable, so you can actually tap it down for a left click as well as pressing this for a left click. And then if you can see that there are some up down arrows, because if you access by holding on the function key and moving the mouse, it will be like scrolling the mouse wheel. And also with the function key held down and you press the mouse button inside, it will be like pressing down the mouse wheel. So actually this mouse control area, I would say, is pretty full featured for all-in-one keyboard like this, considering that it has both left, right, and middle mouse clicks, which might come in handy and might be useful for some purposes. Now the other interesting thing about this is that as a Bluetooth keyboard, the Strike M isn't normally Bluetooth keyboards attached to one single profile. But if you look at the Strike M, they are on these LED indicators. I can just press this here, so you can see that it's cycling up and down between 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what this does is, this is a profile storage. So the Strike M can store Bluetooth pairings between 4 devices at once. So like if you're planning to use this keyboard for your Windows tablet, your Windows PC, and then your Android tablet, and then your iOS phone, you can do all that. You can just pair them up in each of the slots, and then you can just easily swap between them. So that's pretty nifty. And the other thing that you might have already noticed when we are from the recording is that the keyboard is backlit. So, well, I guess that's always nice to have, especially if you're going to use it in some dark environments. probably going to be wasting the battery power in most cases, but it's nice to have. And then you also, on this side, you have the volume rocker, and you have your media control keys, and you have another set of left and right mouse buttons. Now some might say this is a waste of, there are way too many mouse control buttons on this keyboard, but mostly we need to just think about the fact that what it allows you to do with all these mouse control here is that you can move the mouse with one hand and you can press the button on the other hand. So that means in a normal media PC functionality, this is pretty normal usage scenario. But of course, you can't actually thumb type with this keyboard, so you probably want to. It's a bit of a, I guess it's a bit of a conflict of usage scenario, since unlike a thumb board, you can't actually type this without resting the keyboard on a flat surface. So maybe having all these designs might be a bit difficult. Now, other things about the keyboard is that if you see that the function keys are basically locked under FN lock, and so are the navigation keys for the home, page up and page down. And this keyboard was, you can see from that this keyboard was mainly meant for Android devices, because all these buttons here, like CMD, this weird square thing, this block thing, and this thing, these seem to be all, according to the manual, they are all Android function keys. So I'm more of a Windows tablet person. These two will act like your start button, and this brings up IE for some reason. It's probably the Internet Explorer launcher button. And then there's also this small little, this logo here. This is also a button, and again, it seems to be, in Windows, it seems to be doing just the same as what this does, which is it brings up the Internet Explorer. So that's that. Now, performance wise, you might think that one of the things that you might think of doing this, especially like for me, since I'm using Windows tablet a lot, is that you want to try and use this for gaming. Well, okay, as a keyboard, there's a nice big keys that you can more or less type on. So if you're playing games, yeah, it could be usable. Of course, if your games require function keys, that might not be so great, since even the escape for some reason is under a function lock. So that's interesting. Then the other thing here is that you can't, of course no one's gonna play an FPS like this, so let's don't think about it doing it like that. That's pretty stupid. Okay, so the other thing is that this, while an interesting thing is that when this keyboard was first announced, they announced this as a gaming Bluetooth gaming keyboard. Heck, you can even see that legacy right here. So it says Mobile Strike M mobile gaming keyboard. But how can you call yourself a gaming keyboard if you suffer from key ghosting? Because that's what happens with the Strike M, which is that if you're not unfamiliar with what key ghosting is basically that if you press many keys at the same time, the keyboard is not able to detect, or is not able to tell the system that many keys have been pressed. So you can press about three maximum, I would say. 3 maximum keys at the same time before the keys lock out. But I wouldn't recommend trying to use this in any fast-paced action game. I tried using it in Ikaruga, and the moment I held down a key to fire, I weren't able to move diagonally anymore. So yeah, maybe that's why on the back of the keyboard it says gaming keyboard, but it doesn't actually work well as a gaming keyboard. So that's why they don't actually say it's a gaming keyboard on the box. Now, another nice thing about this is that in the box itself, they decided to give you a couple of goodies, which is they gave you a nice little pouch for you to slide the keyboard in, and the pouch also has a little space for this tablet holder which they give you, as well as some nice looking USB cable to help charge the internal battery of the keyboard. So how long do the batteries last in this keyboard? I have no idea. It's still a keyboard. It's probably gonna last you at least 8 to 10 hours. And well, just remember to keep it charged. There's a nice battery indicator here that will constantly remind you of the state of charge anyway, so that's pretty good. Well, other than that, yep, it's a keyboard. It's nice and small. It's small yet fully featured enough if you're looking for on-the-go typing. I guess the main problem with it is that it's kind of expensive. Yeah, because of all the multiple profiles and whatnot, I guess that's why it's kind of it's a relatively expensive piece of hardware, and I guess you really do have to ask yourself whether you need all these capabilities and whether it's worth its price or not. Okay, that's it for the MadCatz Strike M keyboard. And okay, this is Marauders. I'll see you all in the next video.